Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dietrich, and today we have the privilege of test driving a Porsche 911 Targa 4. This is a 2007 model, the 997 generation of 911. If you see the red warning light on the dash, what that is informing us of is that the brake pads on this vehicle need attention. That warning light came on about 10 miles ago, so it's not a urgent situation, but it is something that will need to be attended to, and as of such, I will not be driving this car too hard today. I am on a public road and recording myself and putting myself on the internet, so that's not advisable anyway, but just to let you know up front, that's what that is. This is the pretty much the base engine for a 997 911, 3.6 liter, 325 horsepower, 295 torque. Frankly, plenty of power for this particular car. You know, the S's have more power and are more impressive. The turbos have a lot more power and are a lot more impressive. They aren't strictly necessary. You can have plenty of fun in a base model 911. I actually prefer base model 911s to drive. Even I've driven 911 turbos. I've driven a 991 GT3. I've driven multiple Carrera S over the years. The S is really cool too, but to me the base is the most fun because it's still a Porsche 911. It just has this liquid feel of going over the road. That's the best way I can describe it. Imagine a drop of water just moving down a piece of cloth or something. How it all just looks so natural. That's how it feels to drive this car. Everything is so precise and just one piece, and it just swims through the world. Amazing cars to drive. I love 911s. And I've had this car for a couple of days, and a friend of mine very graciously let me borrow it. And I actually had the opportunity to drive a 991 C2S back to back with this car. And that was a 2012 model. I guess I won't gatekeep. 991 C2S would be a 2012 911 rear-wheel drive, the S model, which is a little bit more power than a base. It had a 6-speed manual as well, but famously the 991 generation of 911, which was the one after this one, switched to electric power steering. And there was some debate amongst people. You know, obviously Porsche purists blew a gasket about that one because the hydraulic power steering that 911s had used all throughout history prior to that, in theory, gives you a more pure steering feel, a better steering feel. But some people said, hey, you know what? Technology marches on. This one still has really good steering. It's not a problem. The 991, the newer one, does have fantastic steering. No question about that. This is better. This steering, interestingly, it's not heavy. It's not like a E90 BMW 3 Series where the steering was just kind of heavy for heavy's sake. It's relatively light steering, but as you push hard into a corner, the effort builds up so gradually that it lets you know exactly what the front wheels are doing, and it is a nicer feel. I will make a judgment on this right now. The hydraulic steering is better. The steering in a 997 is better than the steering in a 991. And as much as I love turbocharged engines, and I've owned several turbocharged engines in different makes and models of cars myself personally, this engine, even the base engine in this 2007 Targa 4, makes the case for naturally aspirated so well, because you just twitch the throttle pedal and you get more or less out of it, and you can feel the immediacy of it. And it's just one of the great engines. And the shifter is slick. The clutch is slightly heavy, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. The manual transmission car that I drive the most is my 2023 Acura Integra A-Spec Tech. The Integra doesn't have anywhere, well, 200 horsepower versus 325. It has a lighter clutch, and it probably has a slicker shifter, but, you know, this is a 2007, that one's a 2023. I still stand by the fact that Porsche and Honda/Acura make the nicest manual transmissions in the car business. And nothing about this car proves me wrong. It just feels fantastic. I'm going to slow it up here because I'm going to turn around, and I don't want to have to use the brakes more than I have to since they're wearing out on this car. It's another beautiful thing about a sticky shifty. So you can just go ahead and do some compression braking. We're gonna hook a little bit of a funky little U-turn here. We are currently in second gear. The road is clear. We're gonna give it full power. Oh, listen to that. Oh. Oh, that intake noise. Oh. Oh. Okay. All right. That's enough of that. That's enough of that. I don't want to scare the local bicyclists here. What a car. What a machine. 911 is the best sports car. That's, I mean, I don't know. That's my opinion. You can argue about it in the comments or not. It's just, it's the best. I don't know. I just like them the most. Mach schnell mit einer 911, ja. Just a shame they had to name it after that tragedy. That's actually not true. The reason why a Porsche 911 is called a Porsche 911 is because of Peugeot. When Porsche first developed and showed the concept car that ended up becoming the 911, they originally were going to call it the 901 because that was the internal, I don't know, that was, I guess, the chassis code or the project code for the original 911. And Peugeot said that they couldn't do it because Peugeot had the rights to any auto nameplate that was blank, zero blank. So like a Peugeot 504 or 407 or, you know, whatever. They said, no, those are ours. You can't do that. So Porsche said, all right, we'll just call it the 911 then instead of 901. So that's how it became the Porsche 911. And there went a Fisker Karma. Oh. It's just such a nice car to drive. And the response in sixth gear, the responsiveness of the engine is great. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And I did a full review on this car. This is an interesting model, the 997 Targa, because technically it is a hatchback. It does have some additional cargo room that most 911s don't have. And for the 997 generation, the Targas only came with four-wheel drive. So I would argue this is the most practical 911 that Porsche ever built, because you have the all-weather security of the four-wheel drive system, so you could drive it in pretty much any weather condition as long as you're on the right tires. And you have a little bit more cargo room and a little bit more accessible cargo room than any other 911 besides a 996 Targa, which you could get in two-wheel drive, which wouldn't be as good in bad weather. So this is the most practical 911 ever. And it's still amazing to drive, and it's still beautiful to look at, and it's still one of the finest cars you can buy. If you had a 3-car garage, and this is my opinion, having driven thousands of cars over the last however many years. I got my license in '98, so whatever. If you had a 3-car garage, S-Class Benz, full-size Range Rover, 911. At least for me, that's what I would do. Put in the comments what you would put in your dream 3-car, no cost, no object garage down below. I'm gonna wrap this up, so like my video and subscribe to my channel as well. And thank you so much for watching, and always drive safely and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.